net.
To be the net control, we will use for the WoodBoxRadio club call sign, which is Whiskey 8 Victoria, Mexico. We have these nets every Monday night at 8 o'clock on this frequency. The PL tone is 107.2 for a reason. There is no Echolink access to this repeater for anybody that's curious about that. We thank the Northern Ohio DX Association, who owns the repeater, for the use of it tonight. Sometimes we have meetings at the North Homestead Library, and sometimes we have them at Golden Corral. So I'll talk later about our meeting, which is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That will run for 45 minutes to an hour or so with 3 rounds, and the third round is a 73 round. It is a directed net, so I will turn it over to each person who can talk. This net will begin soon, but we need to see if there's any priority or emergency traffic first. So if there is, anybody needs the net, that needs a frequency, please call. About the Amber Alert on my telephone. Near the emergency there. There was one on my phone.
Welcome to Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2454 with the release date of Friday, November 8th, 2024 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Radio amateurs respond to deadly floods in Spain. Another major tower collapses in the U.S., and a once sleepy satellite marks 50 years in space. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2454 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Our top story takes us to Spain, where hams are among the many volunteers helping vital messages get through in a region where people's lives have been swept away by floodwaters. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, has those details.
As parts of Spain were overtaken by historic flooding, 2 groups provided emergency radio communications through VHF and UHF repeaters in the hard-hit region. Greg Mossop, G0DUB, the IARU Region 1 Emergency Communications Coordinator, told Newsline that much of the response came from REMER, the government civil protection radio network, which draws membership from the amateur community. Other hams were deployed from EMCOM España, the emergency communications group of the URE, the Spanish National Amateur Radio Society, whose messages proved vital as flash floods pounded eastern Spain, trapping and killing people in the unrelenting weather conditions. Greg told Newsline that the regions most affected included the communities near Valencia, Murcia, and Andalusia. The IARU received its reports from José Antonio Méndez Rios, EA9E, the emergency spokesman for URE, and the national coordinator of EMCOM España. Meanwhile, as officials assessed the flood damage, search parties were dispatched to seek out those reported missing. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
A prominent educator in Israel has achieved international recognition for her work in using wireless signals to aid in prediction of extreme weather, such as flash floods. We hear about her from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Hagit Messer-Yaron has been honored by the IEEE for her work in harnessing wireless signals to collect weather data to serve as a reliable predictor of floods. She was inspired to assist meteorologists who had told her years ago that predictions are not always possible or consistent when using radar, satellites, and other tools. Working with a research team, she found a more reliable method using wireless communication. The process involves use of algorithms developed by her and her team and applied to data collected from communication networks. This technique, which was tested first in Israel, can predict flash floods by extracting the data from measurements in the difference between the amplitude of the signal transmitted and those received. She is hoping to apply it to communication networks globally. Her hope is that people would be alerted well in advance of a storm and could be evacuated from affected areas sooner. For her work, she has received the Medal for Environmental and Safety Technologies from the IEEE, where she is also a Life Fellow. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
In the U.S., another broadcast tower has collapsed, this one in the state of Missouri, marking the third such incident in October. Randy Sly, W4XJ, has that story.
The tower of Missouri AM radio station KRMO 990 kilohertz collapsed on the 24th of October after one of its guy wires snapped, according to industry media reports. The incident marked the third destruction of a U.S. broadcast tower in October. Local media reports said that one of the co-owners, Dwayne Gandy of Eagle Broadcasting, witnessed the collapse as he was mowing nearby. The tower was 75 years old, and maintenance work had recently been performed. While the owners make plans to restore a tower to the site, the station is transmitting via sharing access on the KSWM AM 940 kilohertz tower in Aurora, Missouri. Earlier in October, a broadcast tower collapsed in Houston, Texas, after a helicopter crashed into it, leaving 4 dead. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, station KKOB AM was knocked off the air after its tower was destroyed by the impact of a hot air balloon. The 3 passengers were reported safe after that incident. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
A science education center at the site of the former Arecibo radio telescope is delaying its much-awaited opening to the public, as we hear from Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
Following a pilot program held this summer that opened its doors to students and educators by invitation only, the Scientific Education and Research Center at the site of the former Arecibo Observatory has had its opening delayed until the new year. The National Science Foundation facility in Puerto Rico is known as the Arecibo Center for Culturally Relevant and Inclusive Science Education, Computational Skills, and Community Engagement, or NCF Arecibo C3. It was originally scheduled to open in November. Center administrators said the delay would provide more time for the transport of essential equipment and preparation to make the facility more accessible. One of C3's original collaborators, Universidad del Sagrado Corazon, recently ended its involvement with the center, expressing pride in its first year of work with others on the team. The university's provost and VP for academic affairs said in a statement, quote, "These partnerships and structures have now been successfully initiated, and the remaining institutions involved in the project will continue this important work," end quote. The National Science Foundation announcement said the delayed opening to the public will also allow adjustments in C3's organizational structure. Opening day is expected to coincide with the National Science Foundation's 75th anniversary. The goal of the center is to provide a place for STEM education and research that honors the historic Arecibo Observatory, which was dismantled after its collapse in 2020. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
Meanwhile, a draft report about the 2020 collapse that led to the dismantling of the Arecibo Observatory's 305-meter telescope has pinpointed what is believed to be the root cause. A pre-publication document from the National Academies made available to the public online said that investigators found, quote, unprecedented and accelerated long-term zinc creep induced failure, end quote. In other words, the failure occurred in the radio telescope's cable sockets, vital components that were designed to support the 900-ton platform that was above the dish. The data analysis was conducted by the University of Central Florida and the National Science Foundation. The telescope's construction occurred between 1960 and 1963. Investigators believe that the sequence of events leading to the collapse may have begun with Hurricane Maria, which hit the telescope as a Category 4 in 2017. The report noted that inspections before the storm found the zinc leading edge to be intact, but in late 2018 and early 2019, cable slippage was detected. Another crisis was resolved aboard the Voyager 1 deep space probe by turning back the clock on technology. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us what happened.
For Voyager 1, there was another disturbing incident of radio silence all over again. A shutdown in October of the X-band radio transmitter left the space probe unable to communicate with the Deep Space Network. The mission team linked the problem to a command that had been sent to turn on one of Voyager's heaters. The team believes the command somehow activated the spacecraft's fault protection system, which conserves its power. That lowered the data rate transmission and shut off the X-band transmitter, instead engaging the S-band transmitter. Recounting the sequence of events in the Voyager blog, NASA's Tony Gracias wrote that the S-band transmission, which has a fainter signal than X-band and consumes less power, had not been used by the space team since 1981. S-band operates on frequencies between 2 and 4 gigahertz, whereas X-band uses frequencies in the range between 8 and 12 gigahertz. The NASA blogger wrote, quote, the flight team was not certain the S-band could be detected on Earth due to the spacecraft's distance, but engineers with the Deep Space Network were able to find it, end quote. The old S-band transmitter has turned in a reliable performance since October 24th, even from a distance of more than 15 billion miles, or 24 billion kilometers from Earth, and will remain in use while the team continues its troubleshooting. According to the blog, quote, it may take days or weeks before the team can identify the underlying issue that triggered the fault protection system, end quote. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Time for you to identify your station. We're the amateur radio newsline heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WD8IIJ repeater of the Steubenville-Weirton Amateur Radio Club on Fridays at 8 p.m. local time in Steubenville, Ohio. NASA has launched LignoSat, a wooden satellite built by Japanese researchers. It was successfully sent to the International Space Station on Tuesday, November 5th, headed to the International Space Station. Newsline first reported on its development in 2021 as a partnership between Cuyahoga University and a Japanese home building company, Sumitomo Forestry. It is expected to be released into orbit about 250 miles or 400 kilometers above the Earth. LignoSat is an experiment using space-grade wood to build environmentally friendly satellite. Meanwhile, New Zealand has been busy with its WISA WoodSat, a 1-kilogram amateur radio satellite built in Finland. When launched by a rocket, it is expected to reach an orbit about 310 to 340 miles, or between 500 and 550 kilometers above Earth. The microsatellite has already completed a test flight in the stratosphere, 30 kilometers above Earth, aboard a weather balloon. A $1.8 million grant has been given to HAMSI for its continued work studying the ionosphere. Andy Morrison, K9 AWM, tells us what's planned next.
The citizen science investigators of HAMSI have received $1.8 million in additional support from the National Science Foundation to support their ongoing studies of the ionosphere. The announcement was made by HAMSI founder Nathaniel Frissell, W2NAF, who said the funding would be used for various kinds of equipment to measure different aspects of the ionosphere's behavior. They include 10 WhisperSon transmitters to be a source of GPS-stabilized HF beacon signals. The funding will also support a network, now in development,
comprising 30 standardized receive stations that can observe HF Doppler shifts, whisper transmissions, VLF transmissions, the geomagnetic field, and natural radio emissions. Nathaniel said the network being established will be, quote, the only widespread, coordinated high-frequency, very low-frequency, and ground magnetometer measurement network that is distributed primarily across the mid-latitude region, end quote. According to an announcement by the University of Scranton, where Nathaniel is an associate professor in physics and engineering, he will be the lead principal investigator of the collaborative work done under the grant with researchers at Case Western Reserve University, the University of Alabama, and the New Jersey Institute of Technology. These projects are a continuation of the ongoing work by HAMSI, which involved amateur radio participation in solar eclipse QSO parties this year and last year. HAMs were able to contribute data that helped researchers better understand the impact of the annular solar eclipse and the total solar eclipse had on the ionosphere. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
In Alaska, an island community off the coast of the mainland has become a little bit less of an island now because of amateur radio. George Safaropoulos, KJ6VU, has that story.
Members of the Petersburg Volunteer Fire Department have always been ready to respond from their fire hall if an emergency strikes their island overlooking Frederick Sound. The hard work and generosity of one local ham has just made the fire hall a whole lot more ready. Gary Treffry, WL7LV, has donated 2 transceivers, tuners, and antennas, along with wires, power supplies, and an amplifier, and established an amateur radio station there. The goal isn't just an enhanced emergency response, but the Crino Club, at the state of the U.S., Emergency Services Director Aaron Hankins told the local paper The Pilot, "We are islands. There's no one we can just drive down the road and get communications from, but we hope to have that added capability." There are already some resources locally. Alaskan hams are part of the Amateur Radio Emergency Service, or ARES. More than 100 hams also participate in the Alaska Pacific Emergency Preparedness Net, or APNet, where Gary is a member. Aaron Hankins said he is hoping to see more hams get involved at the fire hall after the project is completed. He added, "I hope that we never have to use his contribution in an emergency fashion, but we'll definitely be very glad to have this capability if the need arises." This is George Zafiropoulos, KJ6VU.
With Hamvention 2025 set for the weekend of May 16th, the organizers are asking prospective attendees to ponder the question of what radio independence means to them. That is, in fact, the theme for the convention in Xenia, Ohio. In announcing the theme, the Hamvention team says, quote, "In the course of history, radio has been heavily regulated and, in some instances, banned altogether. We are fortunate to enjoy these freedoms, and for us at Hamvention, we are proud of our radio independence. What does radio independence mean to you?" End quote. Hopefully there will be many answers found in the workshops, seminars, and eyeball QSOs at the Greene County Fairgrounds. In the world of DX, listen for Theo PA3CVH on the air as 3D2TP from VT Lviv, IOTA number OC016 in Fiji, from the 8th of November to the 12th of December. He is operating QRP on SSB and QRS-CW, QSL via his home call. Andri W9KM is active holiday style as ZF2KM from Grand Cayman Island, IOTA number NA016 until the 12th of November. He is operating CW in the digital modes with a focus on 30, 17, and 12 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. We end this week's report with a story, one that could be called Sleeping Beauty, or perhaps more correctly, Rip Van Winkle. By the way, this story really is a sleeper, as you will hear from Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
This is no fairy tale. It is on November 15th of 1974 with the launch of a little satellite, a small sat called AO7. For 6.5 years, it delighted amateur radio operators who made use of it worldwide. As time went on, however, AMSAT knew that it would soon be time to say goodbye. By 1980, the cells in the satellite's NICAD battery began to fail over a period of weeks into 1981. Thus began the big sleep of smallsat AO7. That is, until its sudden awakening, which AMSAT said could only have been possible if the battery developed an open circuit. Still, there was no mistaking this wakeful voyager. In 2002, Perry Klein, W8VPV, AMSAT's first president, received a phone call from satellite enthusiast Pat Gawain, G3IOR, alerting him to the fact that he just picked up Morse code telemetry on AO7's former beacon frequency. It was confirmed. Soon other hams heard it too. Like Rip Van Winkle in the classic short story by Washington Irving, satellite AO7 had officially ended a slumber that was 2 decades long. Throughout November, AMSAT News Service will be honoring this oldest active amateur radio satellite with articles retelling its exciting story. Visit the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. We promise you'll have no trouble staying awake. This is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
If a good day of radio is like poetry to you, pick up a pencil and join the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. Share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, C3 website, David Behar, K7DB, Engineering News Record, 425DX News, Greg Masopo, G0DUB, Gizmodo, Hamvention, IARU Region 1, IEEE Spectrum, National Academies, National Science Foundation, Petersburg Pilot, QRZ.com, Radio and TV Business Report, Radio Inc., Reuters, shortwaveradio.de, University of Scranton, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscasts, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
Russ, this is W03X.
Go ahead.
Are you going to be available for the Genesaret home run for the homeless there on morning of Thanksgiving Day?
I am not going to be available.
Okay, thanks. I'll let Artie know. Thanks a lot. This is W03X. I'm clear for now.
KD8VYT clear.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John, and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until the action slows down. Then I'll go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements and then close the net after asking for last check-ins. We also operate a Band Explorer net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org. And tonight we will be on 10 meters at approximately 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Here are the announcements. Okay, the next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday, that's November 13th, at the in person at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, and that the address is 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and then the entrance to the building is off the corner of the parking lot. If you are a member, please bring a canned good as a token of appreciation for their letting us use their facility for our meetings. The meeting will also be on Zoom, and the link is on our website on the right side of the page. Scroll down to the date and you will see the link to the meeting, which is 7:30 p.m. this Wednesday. This coming Sunday, November 17th, is a volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so arrive there before that so that you can start the processing. And you need to have your FRN and also need to pre-register 24 hours before the exam starts. For further information, go to www.cfarc.org, click on the word education up the top, and that will take you to the page where you can register for it. Okay, in the newsletter is mentioned the Christmas dinner, and there is a link in there where you can provide your information for the Christmas dinner so that we can tell how many are going to attend. It asks for your name and your call sign and how many are going to be in your party. That is available now in the newsletter. I'm checking the website right now to see if that link is also available right on the website. This is Whiskey Victor Papa Victor. Okay, I didn't see it on the website in glancing at it, but it's in the newsletter. Okay, and so let's see, and that Christmas dinner is on a Thursday, and it's December 12th, and it will be at the New Era Cafe, where it's been several times in the last few years. It was at a couple other places in between there, but we were there last year for sure. So that's the same place as last year. In the newsletter are a couple of articles, and one of them is about an activity that we had at the clubhouse recently about preparing to raise a wire antenna. So we got some ropes up in the trees that we can use to pull the wire antenna up. So take a look at the newsletter to see what all went on there. Okay, on the morning of Thanksgiving Day is the Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless. So far, everybody that already contacted will be able to provide support for that, except one. So I think that will probably be in good enough condition for that. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for any member or officer who has an announcement of special interest to the club. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
All right, LB number 1. Good evening, John. This is W8EZT. Please check me in.
W8EZT, seems like maybe there's not going to be much activity, so let's just go one at a time here.
Excuse said, this Wednesday we're having an in-person meeting at Pilgrim United Church of Christ in downtown Cuyahoga Falls, corner of 2nd Street and Broad Boulevard, down 2nd Street. I'll be doing a presentation, kind of a mishmash of topics, a lot about impedance, reactance, and resistance, trying to fill in and clear up any haze or fog that might be there. Then we'll spend some time examining those parameters as we graph the behavior of an antenna as we change frequency feeding it. Look at how its reactance and resistance change, and why antennas behave the way they do with third harmonic and fifth harmonic operation, and so on like that. Once we wrap that up, we will move on and start talking about VNA. I should add that as we move off the antennas, we're going to introduce the Smith chart, because a lot of the information that VNA provides us is via a graph that looks very much like a Smith chart. So it'll be an interesting program. It's the first of a two-part series. The second part, in January, I intend to sit down and use a VNA along with a transceiver, a manual antenna tuner, and some dummy loads to try to test a automatic antenna tuner and see if it can handle all sorts of mismatches, both capacitively and inductively reactive, and above and below 50 ohms. So it should be an interesting program, and look forward to seeing everybody there and answering questions. So we hope to see you there. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to report. We will get the, let me pause for time here. As John said again, for anybody who's seen the latest issue of the newsletter, we did get some ropes up in the trees, and as soon as I get done with this program, I'm going to be getting the materials we need to get that antenna actually up in the air. And I would hope within a week to 10 days or so, we're putting some RF in there and maybe making our first contact from the W8VPV clubhouse site. So stay tuned. We'll have some more information on that. And if you're interested in being involved in the clubhouse, you want to keep track of the programs we're doing there and what's going on, send me, w8ezt@cfarc.org, your email address, and we'll put you on the mailing list, the clubhouse mailing list, and you'll be up to date. So that's all I've got, John. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. This is W8EZT Back to Net.
Okay, Frank, very good. I'll have to look in at a handbook that I won. It's the 100-year or ARRL handbook to see if they have about the Smith chart, because I never got the hang of that there, and so maybe I can study up on it a little bit beforehand. If not there, I have another book that might have it. So thanks for that information, and thanks for putting on that presentation when it comes time to do that. And so let's see. I heard Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments.
I realized there's a lid there. I wasn't thinking when you said go one at a time. I just called out there. Sorry about that, Frank, and everybody on the net. That's what happens when you get old. You do stupid things sometimes. Oh, nothing really to say. Still, I can't believe the fall weather. This has been a really nice fall. I mean, I remember years ago before Halloween we had snow and stuff. We haven't even had freezing weather yet, so this is great. Hope it goes on all winter. Don't have very much. I checked you over at 10 meters, John, and when you get the meeting, save me a seat if you will. I'd like to know I'll be able to sit down. Okay, back to you, John. W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry. Hope to see you at the meeting. I saved you a seat last time, but you didn't arrive, and so Kurt took it. So you missed out on the use of that seat. So hope to see you there. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, Okay, let's see if we can get more check-ins here. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Give me your call sign, and I'll see if we can get 5 at a time here.
Number 8 Alpha Charlie Papa, N8 ACP, Chris, Cadillac Hill.
N8 ACP, I have you, Chris. Another?
Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie November.
WA8 Radio Charlie November, I have you. I will get back with you. And there was somebody else in there too. Go ahead.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. We'll get back with you in a moment here, Bill. And are there any others?
KE8TQR, Keith in Uniontown.
KE8TQR, Keith in Uniontown. I have you on the list here. Let's see, and one more. Okay, let's go up to Chris here. N8ACP. Go ahead, Chris, with your comments.
Good evening, John, and all on the net. Frank, if you're still listening, and I know you are, if you could add me to your email list. My email is good on QRZ. I would appreciate that. Sounds like you guys are making strides there. Let's see. Satome and Principe, the expedition is up and running. I could hear them tonight on 20 meters, but just not well enough to work them. They are working split, so maybe at a better time of the day we'll be able to get a new one in the log. Did pick up Madagascar during the CQ Worldwide Single Sideband Contest the other weekend, so we're sitting at 183 countries or entities with 100 watts in a wire, so doing okay on that. If I can get to 200 this year, that'd be neat, but we'll see what happens. That's all I've got. Hope everybody enjoyed the nicer weather we had the last couple of days. It is going down to about 29 degrees tomorrow night, so make your preparations. W8VPV for November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa 73.
Okay, Chris, very good. Sounds like you're doing pretty good there on that activity there. So good luck with reaching your goal there. Okay, next is Jim, WA8RCN. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
John, how you doing? W8VPV in a group W8RCN. Just thought we'd check in, give you another number here, and just enjoying the weather and labor love, I guess. Blowing leaves, man. It's an everyday event here with all the acreage we got and all the trees. It just goes on, and they're about 2/3 bare, so I'm hoping that this will end pretty soon. But boy, I tell you, it's been a rough year. It seems they dumped them all in like 2 weeks or something. It was a big dump as compared to years gone by. So it's just something you gotta necessary evil, I guess. Got to keep up with it. So that's what we've been doing. W8VPV, W8RCN.
Yeah, very good, Jim. I checked the city's website a few days ago, and they have adjusted the schedule so that it's 1 week later than what they first published. And so they came. Our scheduled day was today, and they came by, and they had to go really slow. And but they did a really good job, and they got them all. But the trees in my yard and my neighbor's yard, they're I'm not sure what kind of oak they are, but they're just about done. But in the back are some white oaks, and they only changed color a few days ago, and so their leaves are still on there, and those are bigger leaves they have rounded tips on the leaves, and they're longer leaves, so that some years they stay on during the winter and start to fall off toward the end of the winter. But we'll see what they do this year, since they did change color rather quickly, and so hopefully those will come down too before the schedule is up. Okay, very good. Did they come and get your leaves yet, Jim?
I remember what you said last week, so I got on the website. They're a week behind. They're supposed to come tomorrow. I've got about a 500-foot frontage there, and I got 400 feet of it with leaves and 100 foot to go, so they better come tomorrow. It's stacked up about 4 foot high. I've never seen, I don't know about you, John, but we got a bunch of reds and we got whites, and I've got acorns. So many acorns back there that, if you're walking, you got to watch you don't slip and fall. It's like walking on marbles. And I use them for deer hunting. I got a trailer that's probably 6 foot by 5 foot. I've got, that thing was filled with acorns. I went out and picked them all up. You rake them all up and throw them in the bucket and throw them in the trailer. I mean, I've never seen that many. And I don't know what's going to happen here come spring, because the ones I don't get, the animals will eat, but then the tops they leave. So I don't know. I've got acorns on trees that I've never had acorns on before, especially the white oaks. It's just, there's like all over the place. I've never seen it like that before, so I don't know. I don't know if it means a bad winter or what, but that's what the hearsay says, but we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Yeah, our pin oak, or whatever kind it is, or red oak or something, it's about halfway between the house and the public sidewalk, and so it overhangs over the public sidewalk, and it just covered that sidewalk with acorns, and so I had to go out there and sweep them off so that somebody's not falling, So I was doing that every day there for a while. I never saw it have so many acorns.
Yeah, same here, John. I've never seen so many in my life before. It's almost hazardous to walk in here. My whole yard's like that, I got like 4 acres. It's like unbelievable. So, all right, don't want to monopolize it. Go back to you and take on the next guy there. W8VPV, W8RCN.
Okay, Jim, yeah, good luck with those acorns. Okay, so next was Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
W8VPV, KA8WTK, Bill and Talmadge. Yeah, on the leaves, they've been falling. We've been keeping up with them. We won't have another pickup now until the week of December the 4th. So I've been taking most of the leaves to the back of the acre, and there's an area back there that wouldn't mind getting buried in leaves and kill off some of the stuff that's back there, so we're doing that. Acorn production's unbelievable this year compared to last year in particular. There were hardly any acorns in the yard last year. This year, they've gone crazy, overproduction. On the radio front, my wife and I, cleaning out Dad's house, we like to take 1 day a week. We call that our day off. And we go around places, Medina, Coshocton, Cambridge, Worcester, the downtown areas, shop some of the stores, see something different. And lo and behold, this last time we went, let me break for time, I snared some amateur radio equipment out of an antique store. It's a absolutely beautiful pair of Downeast radios, the twins, the G77 and the G66B receiver. They're still in their boxes. Obviously, they've been out and used somewhere along the line, but they still were in their original boxes, and they're really beautiful, chrome front. If you
If you don't know the radios I'm talking about, look them up on RigPix or somewhere. What wasn't with them, though, was the power supplies. So I'm looking for the power supplies for the Gonset twins. I'll come across them somewhere along the line, and I'll have to build something, but they're just beautiful. And you never know what you're going to find when you go digging through some of these antique stores. Back to net, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Yeah, very good, Bill. Yeah, about 30 years ago, I was at a Hamfest. I was still living in Pennsylvania, and there was a guy that I had worked with at RCA, and I was just looking at the stuff, and he was getting anxious that maybe I was interested in a Gonset thing there, and because he wanted it real bad, and I told him, go ahead. So he bought it, whatever it was, some kind of Gonset thing there. So some people know what they are, and they know what they want when they see it. So okay, well, have fun with that, Bill, and we'll talk with you maybe next week, or maybe on 10 meters this evening. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. We're at the bottom of the list here, asking for check-ins.
KVI, in and out.
KE8KVI, I have you in and out, Ron. Another check-in, please.
Whiskey 8 kilowatt, Foxtrot Whiskey Mobile.
Go ahead, Mobile. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just coming back from PCAR's meeting and on a radio on the 5050. ICOM T10, I guess it's a handheld 2-meter 440. But I was just scanning through here on my way back from the meeting, and I heard this repeater, and just wanted to check in to say hello. Back to net.
Okay, great. Thanks for checking in, and have a good drive home there. So very good. Congratulations on winning the prize there. Okay. Let's see, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
This is Kilo 8 Bravo India, Bill in Cuyahoga Falls.
K8BI, go ahead, Bill.
Good evening, John and the rest of the net. Good to hear everybody. And yeah, leaf cleanup over here has been a tactical chore. I finally had time yesterday, but the weather was too bad to get anything done, and then it was so windy today, I didn't get anything done. Usually Veterans Day is the day that is one of my big leaf cleanup days. Anyways, speaking of veterans, that was what I wanted to stop by and just acknowledge and give a shout out to all of our veterans and civil service people that supported them, that have kept our country humming along. So you guys enjoy your Veterans Day, and we'll see everybody next week. W8VPV, this is K8BI.
Okay, Bill, very good, and thanks for your service there, and good luck with those leaves there. The city is, they rescheduled their runs, and so they are a week later, so keep that in mind when you're doing your placement out at the curb there. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
taking my check-in, and good evening to everyone else here on the net tonight. Had a pretty good day today. Looks like the cold weather's going to start moving in, so you might want to get out there and enjoy what little warm weather we still have coming. Anyway, for those of out there in the ether that have listened to me talk about my tower project, I just wanted to let you know that the tower, last Saturday, a group of friends come over, and the tower is now in the vertical position, and it looks really pretty. I'm still smiling, and it's been a little over 2 years getting it up there, and I'm just really happy that it's there. But I still have a little bit more work to do. Yeah, I think I know how to talk. I'm on the radio. But I have a little more work to do with coax and some polyphasers and things like that before I get everything hooked up in the shack. But it looks really great. I want to thank everyone that helped me out last Saturday. They know who they are. And it's just wonderful to have it in the vertical position. With that, I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and take care if you're out there traveling around. So I'll send it back to you, John. Fine job running the net tonight. Do appreciate it. This is KE8TQR saying 73, and God bless.
Yeah, very good, Keith. Yeah, I see here. I had your call sign written down here, but skipped over you. So thanks for coming back. And sounds like that tower raising activity was successful. And so good luck with continuing the final connections with that. We'll be on 10 meters if you on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband this evening. So maybe we'll hear you then. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list here. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Okay, I'll repeat the announcements here and then do one last call for check-ins. So this Wednesday, that's November 13th, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club in-person meeting, and also on Zoom. So in person, it is at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ. You get to the meeting by going to the parking lot off of 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and then the entrance for the meeting is off the corner of the parking lot. And if you don't attend in person and want to participate in the meeting, it will be on Zoom. Just go to our website, www.cfarc.org, and the link for Zoom is there. And you don't have to be a member. All are welcome. And if you're a member and you're coming in person, if you remember, please bring one canned good for their... They have a container there for less fortunate, and so as a token of appreciation for their letting us use their facility for our meetings, we have decided to have us each bring one canned good. If we remember, it's no big deal if you forget.
and then that will actually be the last in-person meeting there. The next gathering will be at the New Era restaurant for the Christmas dinner, and that will be on a Thursday, December 12th. And the newsletter has a link for you to enter your name and your call sign and how many will be in your party for that Christmas dinner. So they have an idea of how many of us will be attending. Also in the newsletter is an activity that we had at the clubhouse there for the first steps for us raising a wire antenna into the trees. So take a look at that, and that was a fun day there. The launching device was interesting, and the projectiles were a common caulking tube. One of which may still be stuck up there. Okay, let's see. So on this coming Sunday, the 17th, is a volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m. It's at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. So if you intend to take an exam there, please register at least 24 hours before the test time, and make sure you have your FRN. If you go to our website, www.cfarc.org, click on the word education, that opens up a page that has a yellow bar there where that you click on to register for the exam. The morning of Thanksgiving Day, that's November 28th, is the Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless. We will be operating our radios there for that run, and it will be done no later than noon, so you can get home and do your Thanksgiving Day activities. And a lot of the runners and other people gather at the Krispy Kreme there for a donut or two or three. So that's a fun event also. Okay. Let's see, I think that's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, somebody is trying, but it's just noise. Do you want to give it another try, maybe at a little higher spot? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
KD8VYT.
KD8VYT, go ahead, Russ.
Just check me in and out. And did you figure out the other frequency yet?
Yeah, it's going to be on 10 meters, 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. K8VYT clear.
Okay, Russ, I have you on the log here. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. If anybody was trying at that time, the identifier was full power there. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is W03X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 11 check-ins counting myself and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:12 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater TL110.9. Port link off.
Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Band Explorer Net. My name is John, and my call is W8VPV. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. The Band Explorer Net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF Net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of the Band Explorer Net can be seen on our calendar, which is go to www.csarc.org, and on the right side of the page is the calendar. Scroll down to the date, and you can see what band we were going to be on. On 40 and 80 meters, we have to sometimes move from the designated frequency because of QRM. So what we do there is we announce on the VHF repeater the frequency that we're going to be on. We do that a couple minutes before the Band Explorer Net starts. Okay, when checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who have items of special interest to the club. On this Band Explorer Net, I'm just going to go one at a time rather than taking 5 like we do on the VHF-UHF net. So let's see, here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday. That's November 13th. And we will meet at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in person at 7:30 p.m. And also, it will be on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. You don't have to be a member to attend. All are welcome to either the in-person or the Zoom version of the meeting. If you're a member and you're going to attend in person, please bring one canned good with you if you remember, as a token of appreciation for their letting us have our meeting at their facility. Again, that's this Wednesday, November 13th, 7:30 p.m. Okay, then Sunday, November 17th is a volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m. So if you want to take a test there, please register 24 hours, at least 24 hours before the test time, and also arrive at the test site before that so that we can process your documentation. Make sure you have your FRN. There's no fee to take the test because it's a LARO exam. The other part we don't deal with. That's your dealing with the FCC. Okay. Regarding the November 13th meeting, it's going to be a presentation by Frank about impedances and resistances, and then that's part one of a two-part presentation. The second part will be about VNAs and maybe include some talk about the Smith chart, which I'm going to study about beforehand, so I know at least a little something about it. That'll be in January. Okay, then on Thanksgiving morning is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless, so I think we have enough operators now for that event. We'll see how that goes. And let's see, then the newsletter came out today, and it has a link in there for the Christmas dinner, which is on December 12th at the New Era Cafe. Please fill out that link and put in there the number of people that will be in your party, so that the restaurant will have some idea of how many people are going to be attending total. Again, that is December 12th. That's a Thursday, not a Wednesday. So that reservation was made in the springtime, and the Wednesday was already taken, so we had to go with the December 12th, Thursday. Let's see, so that's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Or anybody that has a member or an officer that has item of special interest to the club. Go ahead.
Evening, John, W8VPV. Just wanted to clarify, we will be doing a little bit with the VNA during the first presentation this Wednesday. Basically, I'm looking at filters, assuming I can get it connected up to my computer, looking at filters and things like that. The second meeting in January will be actually testing an automatic antenna tuner that thinks it's working, and we'll see if it really does by using the VNA to make an antenna tuner look like a antenna with reactance all over the place, and then try to tune that out with the automatic antenna tuner. So we'll see how it all works, but we'll have some action on the VNA in both sessions. That's all I got, John. Check me in. Back to net, W8VPV.
Okay, Frank, very good. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun there, seeing the VNA working, and then the antenna tuner trying to take care of the mismatch. So that sounds like a fun presentation there, both of those. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, are there any other officers or members who have items of special interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-in.
Okay, for you.
K8PU. Go ahead, Larry.
Oh, evening, John. Everybody on that famous 2 meters enjoying fall weather. I mean, pretty nice. It's almost the middle of November and nothing nasty so far. There's a chance to get the leaves down and everything else before winter. Working out pretty good. Anyways, look forward to seeing everybody Wednesday evening. It's been a long time. We think we'll recognize each other. We've been together since the picnic, I think. Oh, well. Look forward to seeing everybody then. Save me a seat, John, and I'll see you at the meeting. Back to you. W8VPV to you.
Okay, Larry, I'll save you a seat, and if somebody tries to take that spot, I'll tell them I'm saving it for you. So I'll save you one there. Very good. I'll see you Wednesday. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. KD8BYT, go ahead, Russ, with your comments. Oh, well, it sounds good to me. I have a solid signal on you.
Well, that's good. Anybody have a
73, Russ, KD8BYT, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I'll clear with you and asking for more check-ins.
November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa.
November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, John, nothing to report from the 2-meter 440 net. Just wanted to say, I'm assuming you're working the test session, the Saturday test session, so I'll just say good luck with that. W8VPV, November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa.
Very good, Chris. Well, I won't in person be able to be there. I have another activity that starts. I have to travel to it a little bit, and so I won't be able to be at that session. But we have, I think there's 8 candidates already signed up for taking a test, so it's going to be a good session there. Thanks for checking in, Chris, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Well, maybe that's all we're going to get this evening here, so I'll repeat the announcements and then give another call for check-ins, a last call for check-ins. Okay, so this Wednesday, that's the day after tomorrow, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club in-person meeting and also on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. this Wednesday. That's November 13th. It will in person be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ. You get to the meeting by going from the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, south of Clark Boulevard, and then the entrance is off the corner of the parking lot. And if you are a member and going to attend in person, try to remember to bring a canned good with you as a token of appreciation for their letting us use their facility for our meeting. Then on Zoom, The link is on our website at www.cfarc.org, and the link will be on the right side of the page there. You scroll down to the date, and the Zoom link will be there. And all are welcome. You don't have to be a member to attend either in person or on Zoom. Just show up in person or participate via Zoom. Also, in the newsletter was a link for the Christmas dinner, which is going to be on December 12th. That's a Thursday. And so the link asks for your name and your call sign and how many in your party. So please take a moment to fill that out so that we know how many are going to be in attendance so that the restaurant can be prepared. Okay, let's see. So this Sunday is the volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m. Be there ahead of time so that we can process your documentation. And also be sure to pre-register for that at least 24 hours before the test starts. The link is on our webpage, and you get to that link by going to www.cfarc. Up the top, you'll see the word education. Click on that, and it opens a page that has a yellow bar there about registering for an exam. Just click on that and follow the procedure there that's outlined in that link. Also in the newsletter is a couple articles about our clubhouse. Take a look at those articles, and there is one from the latest activity, which was to put some ropes, thin ropes up into the trees. We'll use those ropes to raise a wire antenna soon. And so that was a fun day there, and the mechanism that we used to raise those ropes is shown in the article there. It was a fun time had by all who were there. And then the reminder about the Christmas dinner there, December 12th. That's a Thursday, not a Wednesday, at the New Era Cafe. The presentation on this Wednesday will be about impedances, and Frank was just describing what he's planning to present, and there'll be some VNA demonstration. So come on in and see what's going on there. Okay, so that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. going to switch antennas here for a moment to see if Steve K8HMS wants to check in. K8HMS, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Do you want to check in? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, I didn't hear Steve K8HMS. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-ins. Okay, none heard. To close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this Band Explorer net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be on 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz. Usually we end up being sometimes above 7.2 megahertz. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is W8VPV, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:54 p.m. local time with 5 check-ins, counting myself. 73